A lot of people don't understand what you're going through. They don't understand, what you're hearing. It's hard to explain to them what's going on, especially if your voice does bother you. I had to write notes. I missed Christmases. I missed, holidays with my family, and I had to explain to them what was going on. As for your partner, they should be really supportive with you through your healing journey.
Where are you today? And how does that compare to where things were at its worst?
Where I am today is much better. I can do almost all the hobbies I used to like to do again. And I can talk to people, use my headphones, and do all the things I missed. I couldn't listen to anybody whisper to me. I couldn't shower properly. I couldn't flush the toilet, sinks, couldn't drop anything. It was a living nightmare, yeah. So my quality of life is definitely better.
If someone asked you, "Hey, what is CBT for hyperacusis?" What would you say?
Well, cognitive behavioral therapy, of course, is CBT, but primarily it was to not view things like, we talked about, me and Dr. Suzanne May, that setbacks is a very negative term to put on hyperacusis. So she wanted me to start thinking of them as speed bumps. So I started doing that. And instead of looking at them negatively, I just saw it as, okay, this is a speed bump. I just have to get through it. And it helped kind of rewire my brain to thinking about things negatively. And another one was that when a sound bothered me, I told myself that, this sound is not harmful to me. This sound can't hurt me, and it's okay. Things like that.
So how did you approach exposing yourself to more natural everyday sounds? For example, when was the first time you went out to a restaurant during the treatment period? When was the first time you went to the grocery store? Do you remember those times?
Yeah, I remember I was actually texting Dr. Suzanne May. I had asked her a question, and she was able to get back to me. I went into a Target. So, my girlfriend loves to go in Target, and she suggested that, go to a quieter spot in the Target if I can find one, and take the earplugs out for like 5 seconds, 15 seconds if I can, but have them there as a safety mechanism just in case it's too much. So when I started going out, I slowly took them out, put them back in, and just kept retraining.
Wow. Did you use the same strategy at a restaurant?
The restaurant took a while. I went to it was like a jazz cafe or something. I went with some buddies, and I had my earplugs in, and there was a moment in there where I didn't even notice that my earplugs were kinda, like, slipping out, and then I kinda called my attention where I was like, "There's live music going on, and this isn't bothering me. That's weird." So I gave it a few more seconds, and then I put them back in, and the next day, I tried to go to another restaurant on a date with my girlfriend, and I was able to sit there for a good length of time before I put them back in.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so with hyperacusis treatment, there's on one side physiological sensitivity to the sound. We might call this the part you can't control. Then there's the psychological fear or resistance of, I don't want another speed bump. I'm trying to avoid speed bumps. I'm driving in a car, and whenever there's an
Yeah.
option to go to the side to swerve around the speed bump, I'm going to try to take it. So what was your approach to earplugs? What's your advice? What kind of earplugs did you find worked for you? Did you have different filter strengths, or did you just keep with one earplug, or what?
So I have like an arsenal of earplugs essentially, because when I was going through the gauntlet of them, I wanted to find the one that worked for me. Usually started with foam earplugs, which, I mean, there's, like a lot of sound does not come through those. And I figured out that kind of made me more uncomfortable, especially because when I have those in, my voice is more projected in my head. I was like, okay, I'll try something else. I tried the Flare Calmers, I think they were. They have like the opening in the back.
I call
And
that the earplug light. It's sort
yeah,
of like the lightest possible earplug because it don't
yeah.
restrict some of the high pitched sounds, just 6 decibels or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I was using that for a little bit, and it wasn't enough at the time. Like I'd wear those around the house a little bit more than the dense ones, just because I wanted to let more sound come in naturally. But then I found these are my favorite ones. Like I'll still like sometimes I have like a little afraid moment, and I'll like pop it in, and I'm like, I don't need to to use it. Yeah, I had the tinnitus maskers to slowly retrain my brain to everyday sounds. I have it going right now on my sound machine that I got through the bundle, and the CBT was probably the biggest part for me. CBT that she offered me.
Okay, so the maskers you described, those were playing sound therapy and those were programs for hyperacusis treatment. What advice would you have for someone who's just starting to learn about hyperacusis treatment or solutions? This same person may have heard from their doctor there wasn't much they could do. They may have looked online and been scared by some information. So what
Yeah.
advice would you have for that person?
I think my biggest advice is just really not give up on finding help and sticking with a treatment. I think there's a lot of things on the internet that I've seen personally that are extremely terrifying about hyperacusis, and that really has an effect on your brain and how you're healing. So I think a big part of it is just to not give up hope on healing and your journey through that.
I love that. That's very important. And it's important that we share this message here to, respond or show a different possibility as opposed to some online forums or other places that sometimes may show the worst possible outcome.
If you follow Treble Health and get value from these videos, I would highly recommend that you watch the full video from this clip right here, or subscribe to this clip's channel. Every little bit counts, and your support means the world to me. This is Dr. Ben Thompson with Treble Health.